It's probably happened to you. You log on and someone's attacking your base. I figure I'll share some of those hits with you. Hey everyone, Derpy here. Welcome back to another Battle Pirates video. I'm going to show you some people with skill, some people with coins, and a Kixeye mod attacking my base. I'm also going to show you what the meaning of this thumbnail is with the arrow pointing at the gatekeepers and not at the overlord. Let's go ahead and get started. Looks like this first person is bringing 4 basilisks, or 3 basilisks rather, a subjugator and a warhound. Pretty high fleet that takes some skill to drive, which is probably why I don't have one. That or I wasn't doing PvP when the basilisk came out. Anyway, this guy is using the basilisk to try and snipe out a few of my buildings here, while using the subjugator to boost them up a little bit and distract that yellow cloud aura, which means people can't target things inside of this. Looks like he's actually going to be able to reach this warehouse on my center island and splash out most of my outpost. This was his second try, by the way. Luckily, looks like I'm saved by my gatekeepers turning on here, and they are staggered in their submerge times too, so he doesn't quite get the outpost and it actually still stays at 50% health. He's going to do what he can, go around the right side of the base here with his 3 basilisks and subjugator, maybe send the warhound around the left, trying to see what he can get out of here, maybe a few other random mongoose, but other than that, not a whole lot of success. I did end up redesigning my base afterward, as I did tell this player in a private message, and I think he does watch the channel, so there you go, you know who you are. And I did move this warehouse to make sure my base was not snipeable. This is why I always tell people don't copy my exact layout, because there are mistakes in it, as you will see. Looks like he decides that he's going to go through my channel, maybe try and get a few things, but even pinching my piranhas here, which I don't really know how effective that was, but he will eventually decide that it's not worth it, and he's just going to retreat rather than lose his fleet, because there's no other tier 9 conqueror to spot off. Attackers 0, Derpy 1. Next attacker here is a really big coiner, sped up at the beginning as I'm going to do a few times to save you some time watching this, and he's going to send some Hellswarm straight down my channel. Two ships stacked right on top of each other, which I'm not sure is the best plan because there's a lot of splash damage from here. A lot of people do run Hellswarms in a line like a train. Anyway, he's going to take out this first portal, which is pretty smart and will make sure that the piranhas are unleashed. You do see that his Hellswarms do go into the U1 overload mode, and they are speeding up and they're twice the combat speed, which is pretty powerful. He does go through my overlord field and triggers a few things, and he actually could do a better job here using that extra health, which he might do in the second attack he uses. Anyway, these piranha are triggered. He's going to go ahead and take them out with his harrower, which is actually quite difficult for him. Maybe he needs some driving lessons. Maybe I should make a harrower video so you can watch that and pick up how to use this. The harrower is a really good prep ship to take out a few ships, especially when they're loose in the water on the outside. Ideally, you want to make sure you're not in the overlord carrier range when you're doing that. Otherwise, it's going to take about 25% health and damage, as you do see here. Piranhas do almost nothing to the harrower over 30 seconds, but harrower takes down the piranhas. He's later going to send it inside. I escape forward here, and he's shooting at my overlord. The overlord is not going to go down. I just have way too much coverage, too much protection, too much damage is dealt right to this kill zone, and he's not able to take out the overlord. Maybe if he had one more shot. Here's the same player trying again with his second attempt after a peek, so this is going to give me a red bubble. And he's going to send in a few Hellswarms, this time staggering them, almost like I knew that was going to happen or something. Anyway, he's taking down this first portal. I'm not sure that it's the best idea to send 2 ships here. You will see the guy who eventually beats me, as well as doing a few other things, only sends 1 ship to take down the portal. Once he does that, the 2 piranhas are triggered, but they're not too much of a threat against Hellswarms because the speed really doesn't matter too much for those guys. He's going to take one of them and charge it directly to those back 2 portals, see if he could possibly get it down, but I just have too much damage for 1 or 2 ships to get through. The second Hellswarm is going to hide in the little alcove here, which is why I have these 2 mongoose at the very top of your screen to make sure no one can hide there, because the first time someone hit my base, I accidentally blocked all my turret arc fire with these mountains, which was not the best idea. You can notice if you go back and rewind, it was blocking the new Armageddon scattergun turret. Also noticed I have none of the missile turret at my base. I really don't think it's very effective. This player, Major Corner Man, he's the kind of person who will tell you that he built a fleet 1 week after the raid after you got it for free, even though he definitely coined it. Some of you know who I'm talking about. All kidding aside, he does a better job with his harrower, taking out a few things here, shooting it down, and now he's going to take the Harrower and go try to prep out my Overlord again. But you will remember I have quite a bit of coverage here. There's a whole bunch of different things, about 4, 5, 7 turrets all shooting at the very center here. He actually is going to get off a few shots on it this time, maybe because he did a better job prepping, and the Overlord is going to get 2 volleys shot towards it, which if you're lucky and the accuracy and evade go in your favor, is enough to take it down. Looks like it's not this time, and that 3rd volley does not quite knock it off as I have a Gatekeeper surface and do a damage blast right to the face. So Overlord is still up, which means my base is going to be significantly harder to go through. Now it's time for the trenchers. 2 U2 trenchers like a few days after they came out, so you'll have to decide how we did that there. And they're charging down the channel, and they have an Overlord, 2 Gatekeepers, and 2 portals left to go through, along with a few other supporting turrets. Notice it's outrunning pretty much all the Mongoose turrets, but the Armageddon Scattergun turrets are actually probably hitting it. The Decimators are also hitting it, and he does shoot a pinch at my turrets there, and they don't seem to visually stun. I wonder why that is. He doesn't quite get through the 2nd portal, so not enough firepower, and at this point, that is attackers are 0, Derpy is 3. Trencher fleet, and this one is coming in fast, using a Fear the Splitzer crew, and this is a Kixeye mod going for my base. Let's see if the people with allegedly free coins can get through this. If not, well, maybe I'm doing pretty good, and maybe no coins spent on defense is better than 15-20 bucks spent on offense. We'll have to see. My Piranhas do a pretty good job here, as well as several of these EMP buildings at taking down his trenchers. He does just about get the 2nd portal down, but it's not enough, and his fleets are doing circles inside. They're slowed down, they're getting shot at by the new Baffle turret, as well as Decimators and a few other things. But he's going to try again. Mr. Kixeye mod is trying for round 2, and this time going around the outside of the base first, targeting some of these EMP buildings, hoping to get those down first so they don't distract him too much on the inside. I think if you were really a good clicker, you could actually manage to not waste a single salvo of these ballistic shots, and could redirect them onto things that would need to be hit, such as the portals and maybe such as the Piranhas, even just to keep them from shooting at the different EMP blasts. As you can see, he takes down my warehouse and gets hit with quite a few things as a result. The fleet is already at about 1/4 health before going into my base, and he has lost his speed at this point, and he's also going to run up against the Overlord carrier, so he's slowed down pretty far. A few other things are shooting at the trenchers, and they are actually going to charge into my base. At this point, the 2 Piranhas are on him, and the Gatekeepers have surfaced because he did not go directly in. Has been 45 seconds, and he ends up getting shot. At this point, that's like attackers 0, Derpy 5. Here's the battle that actually gets me. This was his 2nd attempt. His first one did fail, pretty close. Just speeding up him going around the outside, killing my resource generators, they're pretty important. Also, if you look closely, one of my Mongoose is pointing the wrong direction. That's why I say don't copy me. I do weird things like that. This Warhound is going through and just sending 1 chip to take out the portal, which is really smart, as I said. Unlike losing 2 Hellstorms for the portal, he loses half a Warhound. Pulls that to the outside, and he's going to use his Harrower as a nice job of killing these things, and you can see really clearly how good of a job it is. Thank you for driving like this so my viewers can see how the Harrower works. Then he's going to charge through. I'm going to skip forward a little bit. He's actually going to surface. Instead of going for my Overlord like the other player did and he did in his first battle, he goes for my Gatekeepers, which is really, really smart because I don't have a lot of things covering my Gatekeepers. Now, the Harrower only actually does damage to surfaced Gatekeepers, is my understanding. We'll have to see if that was true when you play back this video and watch that closely, see if it did damage to that submerged one or not. But he's going to use this in a really smart way and take down these Gatekeepers. That one surfaced, it goes down, which means now he's lost 1 Harrower and half a Warhound, and he only has an Overlord carrier to deal with. Seems pretty good. Ideally, he would like to take down the Overlord carrier too, but he has to get through the walls and fire 2 or 3 salvos off at the Overlord, which he's not going to be able to do, and I'm going to have to move towards trying to beat 4 incoming Warhounds. These things are pretty spicy. He's not driving the best. You'll notice one is trailing behind the others, so a lot of the splash damage is going to get off on that one. Almost all the EMP blasts are down here except for this warehouse he's about to hit. All that stuff allows me a little bit more splash damage off on the fleet, and he would ideally target the Overlord here, but it's blocked by mountains, so he's going to target the Decimator instead. As soon as that's done, he's got the perfect number of shots off, kills the first portal, maybe wastes a shot or 2, and then kills the second portal. By the way, these last 3 or 4 battles, I've been watching in my sector comms where there's 10 people here just looking at my base, hoping that I can keep this guy out. He ends up getting in, and at this point, I'm typing, come on, Overlord, come on, Overlord, come on, Overlord. He's got 3 ships, all at like 10% health here. My Overlord still has some long-range weapons, but if he gets in that short range, it's all over. Looks like one of those is just about to go down right here, but he still has 2 ships in. He's going to shoot my Overlord. He's got 1 warehouse left, which is just below the screen. I'll show that in a second, and he's going to get in my base. Probably the first time I've been beaten in about a month, maybe a month and a half. Pretty powerful fleet, lots of damage here. And just for good measure, he's going to kill my Overlord, give me some extra repair time. This video does take a while to edit. I probably got half an hour of content down to about 10 minutes and probably spent an hour or 2 hours on this thing. So a like on this video if you liked it goes a long way. Remember, if you're looking at my base, don't just copy it, try and take the good ideas. I have another video explaining a few of those things here. Hopefully this video was helpful. Thanks to everyone who watches my videos and supports me. And as always, this is Derpy, signing out, helping you be a better pirate. Oh, and by the way, all kidding aside, nice try to those who hit my base. You had a really good solid effort. I'll come fail on yours sometime.